Sometimes a person leaves his city voluntarily or involuntarily, whether during childhood or adulthood. Whatever the form of separation, a corner of memory remains dedicated to the homeland. It is vibrant and a beautiful corner, which takes us back to the scenes we experienced, to the rooms that brought us together and envelopes us in the warmth of winter. It's a memory we constantly carry behind us, like a child's toy whose sound we adore.
The connection between the traveler and his homeland remains profound. Despite the distance and the passage of time, the homeland remains a place of memories, and the traveler remains attached to it like a shadow, following its news, yearning to return there as soon as possible. Among the cultural translation session at the French Institute in Baghdad that most impressed me was the one I held with a speaker who returned to her homeland with memories filled with emotion and deep nostalgia. The guest was Mrs. Findakly, originally from Mosul, who left her hometown as a child to live and to grow up in France, arriving in 1973 with her family, where she studied and became a colorist and comic book writer. Although she never retained her Arabic and spent her entire childhood abroad, she remained attached to her beautiful childhood in Mosul. When Mosul underwent this dark period in 2016, she was deeply affected and her emotion was overwhelming. She expressed her grief, anger and sadness in ink and color, creating with her husband her magnificent autobiographical comic book album, The Poppies of Iraq. This book recounts her childhood memories in her hometown in Mosul, her family outings to visit the monuments and walks in the old city, her daily life at home, and the abundance of greenery, nature and flowers that surrounded her. She drew inscription from her experience to create her most beautiful creations, as beautiful as they are professional in drawing and coloring, to become the launch of the publication of her childhood's memories, expressing the beauty of visual and narrative expression that transcends the borders of the world. Indeed, she began her childhood works with the newspaper Le Monde, with the drawings of a child answering questions. She continued this way until she found herself talking about her childhood and the city of her childhood, and her deep desire for the flowers of the city, the poppies. Flowers that grow in nature, in gardens. Everywhere she picked a few of these flowers to make them the title of her book. On the cover, we see her as a child running away with a blood-red flower, pointing to her wounded city in 2016. She attempts to draw the world's attention to her own wounds and those of her city, asking for help to save her beautiful city. We see her in a drawing in front of the ruins of King Nimrud in Mosul, inspired by a photo of her taken by her father in a corner of this Ashurian city with a 1,000-year history. From its ramparts and the lions that protect the city, her childhood drawings, as small as miniatures, reach us, allowing us to immerse ourselves in the story of her childhood. Throughout the page of her story, we learn how she learned of her departure from her city when her father announced that the family was leaving Iraq. She didn't quite understand, but she instinctively knew she was leaving the poppies behind. She was saddened, but her father reassured her, saying they would return when the situation would improve. This book is generally considered a childhood autobiography, punctuated here and there by feelings of alienation and distance, and a pressing need to rediscover the flowers of her homeland. I translated for Mrs. Findakly from her French into Arabic, a language she had forgotten during her exile. I sat transferring the languages, but also all the feelings, sigh, and premonitions that crossed her mind. but perhaps the strangled tone of her voice when her tears wanted to flow troubled me. And I wanted to translate those tears with tears so that the translation would be honest, to become the bridge over which thoughts could pass through the pouring rain. It was one of these sessions that, if inflamed the emotions of the participants and the translator, to remain in my memory the love of a child for her first city, its flowers, its forests, and her beautiful world. My tribute to you and to all these beautiful feelings you shared with us, and to your beautiful book, and a salute to these wonderful flowers and to this city to which the poppies quickly returned. Thank you.
It is no coincidence that migratory birds have the instinct to return to their places of origin and even the ability to return. Even today, scientists study the map that
remains
attached in the map of that bird as it returns to its homeland after crossing thousands of kilometers of mountains, seas, and forests, only to cross them and return to the small nest it had left behind, to teach us the ultimate lesson in emotional memory of a place.